glad to be here. Glad to be here with you today. We've had 2 speakers already talking about your brand and strategy. I'm going to be talking more about you, because that is, for me, the biggest piece of the puzzle in letting all your dreams come true or your future vision, turn into your reality. So my business is called My Success Institute, and in that business I equip people with tips and tools to work on their own version of success. So I'm going to be throwing out a lot of ideas, a lot of concepts here in the time frame that I have to help you work with yourself, to work on your own version of success and how to make that come true. How does that sound? Okay. So I'm going to start with tell you a little bit about myself. You probably have no special interest in me as a person, but I need to tell you a little bit about me to lay the foundation for what I'm going to share with you. So I'm brought up in a small fishing town up north in Iceland. I have 12 brothers and sisters, and I sometimes get asked, where are you? What number are you? And I haven't counted. I'm just somewhere in the middle. And as a kid growing up, I was lost somewhere in the middle. It was all a matter of surviving and blending in. It was nothing about standing out. So that's where I'm coming from. And then in my early 20s, I went to get my degree in education, and I started working as a teacher. And I had my first child when I was 21. And being a single mother and a teacher with low salaries, I started asking myself, is this all there's going to be? I thought about the people, from my family. I looked at my mother. I was looking for some role models. What do I want to become? And I realized that I knew all these grumpy old people, like I like to call it. A lot of bitter people that have all kinds of dreams, but never did anything about those dreams. So I thought, I don't want to end up like one of those grumpy old and bitter people. So I started to challenge myself. I started asking my questions. If I came to a challenge or a decision that I had to make, I started asking, will I regret it if I don't do this? And this is kind of my compass that I use in my life. Will I regret it if I don't do this? I used this question to move with my son to the USA and get my MBA degree. And I started building up my courage, which was quite a challenge. Like I said, I got my MBA. I worked introduced me in the financial and IT sector in a C-suite positions. Then in 2012, I started asking myself these questions again. I had, good job, good salaries, everything. And I started asking myself, will I regret it if I don't change something? So I decided to leave my job. And I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew that if I would just keep on doing what I had been doing for the last years, I would end up as a grumpy old people. So just out of the blue, I started working as an entrepreneur. I started, building up my own business. And I started to get to know myself in a different way. It was a big surprise to me to find out that I was quite creative. And I'm laying the foundation for what I'm going to share with you later on. Now I have, gotten to know myself better. I have a great need to communicate with people. I have a great need to light the spark with people, help them do everything that I can to eliminate grumpy old people in the world. So that's my big goal, that when my generation, we retire, there will be no grumpy old people, hopefully. So that's the plan of my business. Having my MBA, working in the financial sectors, I'm very used to talking about, return on investments and everything, and numbers and kronas and all that. And I think that we need, doesn't matter what number is up there, we need everything that people have. All the things that people are holding back to themselves, too afraid, we need that to boost our economy, to boost our happiness, and the happiness index of every nation. So I'm going to, like I said, be throwing out a lot of ideas and tools that I hope can help you after today to grow, because that's my passion, to help people grow. This is what was the agenda that you probably saw when you signed up. And my angle today is going to be about self-leadership. You probably read many books or attended many courses on the difference of leadership and management and all that crap, sorry. I'm going to be talking about how this applies to you and how you have to be the leader of yourself. Because nothing will happen unless you do it, I think, if you're running your own business. And it's not a matter of you doing everything, but at least you have to know where you're going and whom to hire on your team. And you have to be the CEO of your business. I have met too many entrepreneurs that say, well, I'm in a startup phase. And I said, and how long have you been in the startup phase? 5 or 6 years? And I think, people are just too afraid of stepping up. They're trying to blend in, just being average, and I think that's not good. That will, produce more grumpy old people. So what is self-leadership? There are many different definitions of what self-leadership is. I'm going to be throwing out some points here. It's about knowing and understanding who you are. We have to know what we are capable of, and this can be a challenge because, like I said, too many people are holding themselves back. Where you're headed, your vision, your ability to influence, I'm going to just go through this quickly, communication skills, and the behavior that supports you. And I think that communication skills and confidence are the two most important factors determining how much success you will have, however you define success for yourself. You need communication skills and you need self-confidence. And I think you can, and you were not born with certain quota of confidence or communication skills. This is something that you can work with and strengthen. And I say sometimes to the people that I'm working with in my seminars and in my coaching, we sometimes have to do some checkup. We have to look in the mirror and think about who we are, where we are going, if we are doing everything that we for sure are capable of. And if you have employees, for example, because I think when my agenda was put on the web, it was about leadership, and I was thinking I want to give you something that can help you with self-leadership, but also if you have employees or partners or VAs or all kinds of people working for you, you have to also step in the role of leadership in that context. So you have to practice good self-leadership to be able to lead your business and to be able to lead your people. This picture here is one of my favorite, and in the middle box you see lead others, and the third one is leading results. In my mind, there's too much emphasis put on that, what you have to do to be able to lead others, what you have to do to lead results. I think we always miss the first step. If you don't look at the first step and start looking at your self-leadership, who you are, what you're capable of, and all that, you will not have as much success as you can with leading others or leading results. And you probably also know this gentleman here, late Nelson Mandela. This quote, actually, a sentence that he said, has helped me countless times. When I start doubting myself, start holding myself back, I read this quote, read this sentence, and it's the best kick in the butt that I can have. Because for me, this is about choice. We can choose to play small. And this is all, we have it in our hands, or in front of our tits, as Runa says. We can choose to play small, and we can choose to live a life that is less than the one that we are capable of. This is one of the things that I recommend. Find a sentence, find a quote, or something that you can read or use as a mantra in your head. When you start holding yourself back or doubting yourself, have something to get you started again. And also, and I'm both talking from my own experience and from the people that I have worked with, I'm not going to ask you to raise hands because some people might be too afraid to admit this. But I think the one most powerful thing we can change is our thoughts. Many times, many hours, many days I've spent thinking about, who do I think I am? Why do I think I can do this? Why would anybody want to buy something that I make? And just tearing myself down. I talk to myself the way I would not, talk to any other or allow any other to talk to myself. Yet I do it. So when we get stuck in those negative thoughts or thoughts that are holding ourselves back, that affects our self-esteem. And if we are with our own thoughts, making our self-esteem lower or smaller, it affects the success that we have. So this is a cycle for me. So as soon as you start changing your thoughts and thinking about everything that you're capable of, think about all your strengths, all that you have achieved, and just reprogram yourself and have more positive thoughts, your self-esteem gets bigger. It relates to the confidence that I was talking about earlier. And that gives you more success. Because people don't want to, or are a lot less likely to want to connect with you or buy something from you if you don't have faith in yourself. So why should I want to connect or work with that person? So the one most powerful thing you can change, and this may sound as a phrase or some woo-woo stuff to somebody in here, but believe me, this is the one thing that is going to give you the biggest change. So this is also a tool that you can use. Etta said that I'm internationally certified as a coach. This is some questions that I'm going to throw out that you can use to self-coach you. Not that I'm recommending that you do that all the time. I recommend you have your own coach. But self-coaching can be helpful at times in case of emergencies. So this is a model that you can go through. So this is something that has also been said here earlier this morning. This is the first step of the cycle. What do I want? This can be the future vision that was talked about. Also this, why do I want this? Because if you can relate to why you want what you said in step 1, it's much more likely that you will have the energy, the flame burning to make that happen. So if you, in step 2, can't find your why, you have to look at your what again, because maybe you wrote down something in step 1 that kind of sounded good or looked good in the eyes of others. But if it doesn't relate to you or your passion or why you want to do this, it's not very likely that you can make that happen. Sorry. So in step 2, you kind of check if step 1 you did that correctly or not. Then we come to the options and opportunities. And this is again what I have in my own experience working with the people that I work with. People have, because of those limiting beliefs and their thoughts and all that, they are not stepping into all the options and opportunities that are out there. And they are just, their horizon is so narrow that they're not willing to open up. And if we can't find them, we just create them. I mean, everything is possible. So if we know our what and our why, then nothing's going to stop us in step 3 except our imagination. Then we come to the possible hindrances. I mean, we all know there will be some hindrances, some obstacles that can stop us. And this is where many people just stop, sit down, okay, I will never finish this will never come true. And I don't know if any of you have children. Do any in here have children? Okay. When they were first starting to learn how to walk, and they took the first step, and they were starting to take the second step, and they fell. What did you do? Did you tell them just to sit? You will never learn how to walk, just sit there. No, probably not. You help them stand up again and try again. And it's the same with us. I mean, we will take steps that will, get us in the right direction. We will take steps that will not do that. And we just have to stand up and do it again. And it's how we stand up that's going to define us, not how many times we fall. Fifth one, sorry. What are you willing to do? I'm a lot about action. And I say making decision on, okay, I'm going to do this. That's one thing, making a decision. But are you putting that decision into an action? I think that's the thing that makes the difference on who is going to have the success and who is not. There were 5 frogs sitting on a log. You probably heard this story. 5 frogs sitting on a log. 3 of them decided to jump. How many were still on the log? Any numbers you want? 5, yes. Why? Yeah, we only decided to jump. We didn't actually do it. And a lot of people are very good with making decisions, which is good. And others are not good even with making decisions. But if we are able to do that, make decision, we also have to take that decision and turn it into an action. So it's about taking steps, one step at a time, to move ourselves closer to our future vision, to what we know we are capable of doing. Because those steps and those actions is also about our daily habits. And it's very unlikely that we will just one day find ourselves on top of Everest. It takes a lot of preparation and everything that Dari talked about before. And it's the same with success. It will probably not just hit us by chance. We will get it by our choices. So when we think about our daily habits, from the morning, from the time when we wake up in the mornings, what steps am I going to take today to move myself closer to the future vision or to my dream? All this will happen in 5 years' time, but it starts today. So daily habits, some people spend a lot of time watching television in the afternoons or in the evenings. That's a choice. I choose not to. I choose to use my time in other matters. So every day we're making choices. And that can be our compass. Will this choice move myself closer to my vision? Or will it just give me a moment of pleasure? Being lazy is good sometimes, but not every day. So daily habits, what am I doing every day? And we have to be able, when we lay down in our bed in the nights, go over it. What did I do today to move myself closer to my goals, to my dreams, to my vision? If there was nothing we did, either we can accept it and say, okay, I had one bad day. But if it happens many days in a row, I think we have a problem. So I'm not saying that we should be too hard on ourselves, just beating ourselves every day. But every day, I think we have to do something, and this is about daily habits and our choices. And it's not only about time, it's also about our energy. A lot of people, and a lot of people I know, and myself included sometimes, some of my clients, spend too much energy on all kinds of things that they can only worry about. They cannot change, but they can worry about them. This can be the economy, this can be the weather, this can be the neighbor, this can be just a lot of things. The neighbor that always parks his car differently than I think is right. And we drain ourselves, our energy, with all the things that we can worry about, but we cannot do anything about it. It's not in our hands. And this just becomes distractions for us. I say we have to put more energy towards the things that we can have influence on and the actions that we make. And the more energy we put there, the larger that circle becomes on the cost of the other one. I see a lot of people are nodding. This is one tool that you can use after today. We need all the energy that we have to take those steps every day. And some of the steps are very hard to take. So we cannot afford to waste our energy towards those things that do nothing for us. And this can also be people. This can even be some of our friends. So this can be hard sometimes. And the best way not to succeed is trying to please everybody but yourself. When you go on an airplane, they tell you to put the mask on yourself before you start helping others. I remember when I saw that piece, saw that first. It was on the first trip that I went, out of Iceland. I was 16 years old. I went to Australia, and I saw this video coming from this big group of brothers and sisters. I got quite furious. What do they mean? Put the mask on myself before I start helping others? It made no sense to me. But it's the same, if we have our own business, we have to put all that we have, all our energy towards our business and what we're doing instead of just trying to please everybody else. You probably have a long to-do list, and you read many books and articles about how to make the best to-do lists. Luckily, I'm glad to say that also we have been taught in the last few years that we also need a not to-do list. And that's nothing new. You probably heard about that before, but that's something that we also need. I want to add the third list that I am very fond of myself, which is the done list. Because you have probably all in here achieved a lot of great things. But when they're done and you don't think about it anymore. And then you have those days when you're lacking energy, you're fighting, limiting beliefs and self-doubt and everything. Just take this list, from your drawer somewhere and read through it. Everything that I have achieved should be a proof that I can do even more. Because success is sometimes about doing less. It's not always about doing more and beating yourself every day to take all those steps and do everything that you have to do. Sometimes it's about doing less. Simplifying, not doing, and just work on your clarity. There are a lot of things that can eat up our energy, take our time, and we have to prioritize. But the sad thing is that sometimes these distractions can be yet another great idea. And entrepreneurs get great ideas all the time. And we are just going from this idea to that idea, and we're just going all over. And before we know it, time is just, the morning has become a night, and we have to go to bed. And next day, yet another great idea, and we're not moving anywhere. Anyone relate to this? Yes, okay. So all those great ideas, which are good, can, if we are not, practicing good self-leadership, all those great ideas can become just distractions. So take those great ideas, write them down on a piece of paper or in your iPad or computers or wherever you have, and save it for later times. But if you have a plan that you're working on, just to free some energy or use all the energy that you have, don't waste it on all those great ideas. You have time later for that. And I made a tool actually for one of my coaching clients that I was dealing with this. With all those great ideas that you have, I want you to compare them to this model. And this model is actually 2 axes, and you've probably seen it before in some version. And the one axe, the one here on the left hand, is about if this idea costs little to implement or it takes little effort for you to implement. And it's little or great. And on the other axis, it's about if it's going to give you a lot of income, a lot of revenues, a good PR, some distinction from the others in the market, something that is good for you. And when all those great ideas start flowing to you, just write them down in this model. If the idea that is maybe a great idea, but if it takes a lot of effort and a lot of cost, but will give you little revenue, is that how you should prioritize your time? I think not. I think we need to spend more time in the upper right-hand box, find ideas that we can put in there that will give us either great revenues, PR, distinction, but will not cost all that much to implement or make come true. I don't know if you heard it, but some people say that we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. Yet another cliche maybe. I have not seen any research behind this, but I like this phrase because to me this is about deciding what league you want to play in, what mountain you want to climb, where you want to position yourself. And just look at either if it's your employees, are those the right employees for you? Your partners, the people that you work with, your friends. Is this the people that are supporting you in having the success that you know you're capable of? Are they playing in the league that you want to play in? How are they positioning themselves? And I sometimes say to, when I work with entrepreneurs, I give them this one question to ask themselves once in a while, to ask themselves if they would hire themselves for the position in their company, in their operation. Because they tend to complain about their employees. They say, I'm the CEO of my company. Okay, great. If you were not, would you hire yourself? If you wouldn't own that business, would you hire yourself based on the performance that you're doing in that position? Would you hire yourself to be the CEO of your company? If not, you need to make some changes. But But even though you have, you can have employees or VAs or friends that are good people, and it's nice to hang around with them. But if they're not helping you, you have to. It's hard to say this and harsh, but you have to think about: am I spending too much time with these people? Are they helping me going where I want to go? I said in the beginning that I help people work with their own version of success. For some people, it's about fame and money. For others, it's not. If you write down your version of what success means to you, it can include those elements up here. It can include in some of them or all of them or some different ones. But it can be quite a challenge to balance all this. And I think you will do a better job with that if you practice good self-leadership. Here's another great person that you probably also know, Maya Angelou. She defined success like this. She said, success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and how you do it. Talking about daily habits and everything. Are we liking how we spend our time or use our time? Are we liking where we are going and on what pace we're going there? Do your best to be your best. If you are complaining about not having the success that you know you're capable of, ask yourself first, have I done my best to have that success? Have I done everything that I can, everything that is within my power? If not, go back to think about how your self-leadership is. And like I said, my goal is to eliminate grumpy old people. I say we have to live our life, both our private lives and our professional lives, in a way that we won't have any regrets when we throw our 70-year-old birthday party. But when we throw our 70-year-old birthday party, if we go in our mind to that day, think about who will be around you, what people will be there. What do we want to be able to say to those people? When we say the welcoming speech, what do we want to say? And if some things pop into your mind that you want to be able to say when you turn 70, you have to start working on them today. So, like I said, it doesn't matter if we are talking about leadership in the context of leading others, leading your employees, your VAs, or your partners. You have to know yourself and what you stand for. And have, belief in that, because if you don't believe it, others will not. So, if you, demand some performance or some achievements of your employees, you have to know what that is and how you're doing yourself on those things. So, I think, the arrow that I showed you earlier, if you want others to follow you, you have to be able to lead yourself. So that's my main message. And I popped this question already. Would we hire ourselves for the position that we are having in our business? So I wanted to leave you with 3 takeaways. I'm going to let you do a small exercise, I think, if we have the time. But those 3 major takeaways that I wanted to leave with you today is beware of your thoughts. Those can be your biggest enemy. Your own thoughts can be your biggest enemy. Think about that. So when you find yourself, with this conversation in your head, doubting yourself, telling yourself that you can do those things that you, on good days, know that you're capable of, you have to do something to stop those thoughts. That's the first thing. The second thing about surrounding yourself with the right people. If you want to play in the top league of the game, you have to, select the right players to be on your team, to spend your time with. And turn your decisions into actions. Decision without action is nothing. Doesn't matter if you make that decision if you're not going to do anything about it. And that's a big thing with many of my clients. Find ways to turn all those decisions into actions. And of course, because I was only allowed to give you 3 takeaways, I squeezed in this number 4, which has all the other takeaways. And you will probably get those slides then. So now I want you to grab out your piece of paper on your tables and pens. And we're just going to do a quick exercise. And I want you to do this just by yourself. not with any partner, write down if you can have any mantra, any thoughts that you can use to kick you in the butt when you start having those limiting beliefs. It can be different for every one of you. Just write down something, some example, some role model, something that you can use to stop you when those thoughts start tearing you down. And the second thing that I want you to do, and this is going to be maybe harder, to write down people, whether it's some of your employees or your partners or maybe some of your friends, that you need to let go of. This is harsh, but I think it's necessary. Maybe you've already done that. If not, think about, are some people around you dragging you down? Let them go, please. Also, because I want to stay more on the positive side, write down the names of the people that you want to spend more time with. Whom do you want to hang around with? Whom do you want to play with? Who do you think is going to take you to the league that you want to play in? Select them as your employees, select them as your partners, select them as your friends. I once did this exercise for a big group of people, and there was this guy in the audience. He was in his late 50s. He raised his hand and said, "Are you saying that I have to divorce my wife?" I said I would not want to be responsible for that, but because if we are average of the 5 people we spend our time with, we are also part of other people's average. So we cannot look at others and say that they are no good. We are having some effect on the people that hang around with us. So we probably want to be more of a person that everybody is happy when we show up, instead of everyone being happy when we leave. So if we demand this of others, we should demand this of ourselves as well. And the third one, what decisions have you made recently that you have not yet put into an action? Write that decision down and a date. When will you turn that into an action? So I say, if you want to be treated like a rock star, this is one of my favorite quotes. If you want to be treated as a rock star, you have to act like a rock star.
Hallelujah.
You have to be what you want to be. You have to be what you want others to see. So I'm glad somebody said hallelujah, because this is, like I said, and I also use this quote sometimes when I feel I'm dragging myself down. I'm not acting as a rock star now. So I kick myself in the butt and start going again. So if you want to look more into what I do and what I offer people, you can look at my websites. Actually, I'm going through rebranding as we speak. So and I'm on, offer various products and programs. And I'm also on all those different social medias. And when you get those slides sent, you can look into that. So this is what I wanted to share with you. So thank you.